So, this continuing my Eminem performance art non-ethical questions of the anti-heroic nature of Eminem and why I personally find him fascinating and obviously morally gray, but fascinating nonetheless. In a way, I don't find other people who are, sort of these shock value performance arty things. I don't find them as fascinating as I find him. And I don't really know why. I don't really have a defense for myself, but for some reason, I got into it. Maybe because it happened when I was like a teenager, and they say that your teenage self, like, things imprint differently on your teenage brain, so maybe it's just like, for some reason, got in there. But, I'm interested in, like, very deep, probing of, like, meta art, as you can tell. So, here we are. So, this is the end. This is, like, the end of the song Bad Guy on Marshall Mathers LP2, which is an excellent song, I should say. It's very, very interesting, like, very dark, meta commentary of, like, an escalating psychotic episode. So, at the end, the brother of the deranged fan who died earlier reenacts the same thing and sneaks in and, is obsessed with getting vengeance on Eminem for having killed his brother, like, indirectly. And so he kidnaps Eminem from his house, and he kills him, and he ties him up in the back of the trunk, and then he's driving around, and then he drives off a bridge. And so as he's driving off of the bridge, as Eminem is purportedly drowning, there's this, like, really intense voice that sounds like a voice that Eminem has used in the past as, like, a devil voice, or the Faustian bargain voice, or it's sort of like the voice of his inner conflict and the voice of karma. So it's this really interesting monologue. And he mentions Frank Ocean, who is bisexual, in his song Swim Good, as he's driving off a bridge. And incidentally, this is also the bridge of the song, which is that was the end of the bridge of the song, which is an interesting meta commentary on that. And also, this is obviously earlier than, like, New Romantics, but it's interesting in that it's a parallel. We're talking about, I'm the nightmare you fell asleep and woke up still in, karma closing in with each stroke of a pin, perfect time to have some remorse to show for your sin. No, it's hopeless, I'm in denial, you're hopelessly in. Talking a lot of shit, but I'm backing it all up. But in my head, there's a voice in the back, and it hollers after the track is demolished. I'm the lack of your conscience ringing in your ears. If you're dying, do you have any regrets? Grab some water but I'm the pill that's too jagged to swallow. I'm the bullies you hate that you became with every slur you slaughtered, coming back on you with every woman you insult. That with your double standards that you have when it comes to your daughters. I represent everything you take for granted. Because Marshall Mathers, the rapper's persona, is half a facade, and Matthew and Stan, the deranged fan and his brother, is just symbolic of you not knowing what you had till it's gone. Because after all the glitz and the glam, no more fans that are calling your name, cameras off, sad, but it happens to all of them. I'm the hindsight to say, I told you so, foreshadow of all the things that are to follow. I'm the future that's here to show you what happens tomorrow. So, like, this very Christmas Carol ghost of Christmas future, of, like, this on the edge of death. Do you have any regrets? Do you want to change? If you don't stop after they call you the biggest laughingstock of rap who can't call it quits when it's time to walk away. I'm the guilt trip, the baggage you had it, but as you gather up all your possessions, if there's anything left to say, unless it make an impact, don't bother. So before you rest your case, better make sure you're packing a wallop. So, one last time, I'm back before it fades into black and it's all over. Behold the final chapter in the saga, trying to capture the lightning trapped in a bottle. Obviously, a very Swiftian phrase. Twice the magic that started it all. Tragic portrait of an artist. Joyce. Tortured artist. portrait poet, trapped in his own dark drawings, tapping into thoughts blacker and darker than anything imaginable. Here goes a wild stab in the dark as we pick up where the last Mathers left off. So he's tapping back into that extreme id shadow self of him. Great song. The other one that I really like is Sing for the Moment, which samples Aerosmith's Dream On. Really, really good song. And it's all about, I won't read the whole thing, but some of my favorite lines are, I guess words are a motherfucker. They can be great, or they can degrade, or even worse, they can teach hate. It's like these kids hang on every single statement we make. Now, how the fuck did this metamorphosis happen? From standing on corners and porches just rapping to having a fortune, no more kissing ass. But these critics crucify you. Journalists try to burn you. Fans turn on you. Attorneys only want to turn at you to get their hands on every dime you have. So people keep suing him. But the people are suing him. The kids are listening to him religiously. If it's all political, if my music is literal, then I'm a criminal. How the fuck could I raise a little girl? I wouldn't be fit to. You're full of shit too, Guerrero. That was a fist that hit you. Guerrero was some guy who said he sued Eminem for saying he hit him with a pistol, but he said that was a fist. It's the whole thing. But Eminem has one biological daughter, and then he also adopted two of his nieces. And now they're all grown up. And he's still extremely close with them. And his daughter just got married, which is interesting. And I think also speaks to his character. So it's further separating his, he has a song called I'm a Criminal, which is from the shady point of view. So it's separating that. If music is literal, I'm not literally doing everything I say in music, and my music isn't literal. And am I responsible? They say music can alter moods and talk to you. Well, can it load a gun up for you and cock it too? Well, if it can, the next time you assault a dude, just tell the judge it was my fault and I get sued. So it's about this, saying this is a facade. We're entertainers. But music is a reflection of self. We just explain it and then we get our checks in the mail. It's fucked up, ain't it? So the sort of like role that you're forced to become in when you're an entertainer and how that is different. And he's talking about having grown up in the extreme poverty of Detroit in an extremely trailer park, just very, very having nothing and being surrounded by gang violence outside of Detroit, and then kids and these kids who were listening to him thinking it's cool to have a gun when they're in completely different contexts. And he's actually extremely anti-gun, as he will show later. And he's extremely anti-racist and anti-Trump and all of that. Anyway, so this is a good song. The other part I like is him actually singing for the kids who don't have a thing except for a dream and a rap magazine. For anyone who's ever been through shit in their lives, so they sit and cry in the night, wishing they die, till they throw on a rap record and they sit and they vibe with nothing to do. We're nothing to you, but we're the fucking shit in their eyes. That's why we seize the moment, try to freeze it and own it, squeeze it and hold it, because we consider these minutes golden. And maybe when they'll admit it, they'll admit it when we're gone. Just let our spirits live on through our lyrics that you hear in our songs. So that again reminds me of the Chavi thing of freezing moments and framing them.